We're going to look at the 4 key risks of living near volcanic areas. First one is destruction by volcanic materials. Second one is landslides, followed by pollution, and then finally effects on weather. Volcanic materials that are ejected from the volcano during eruption include things like lava, rock fragments, and even volcanic bombs. Pyroclastic flow that we learned earlier on is another one of these volcanic materials that is highly destructive. Key reasons for it being very destructive is the extreme temperature and of course also the size of some of these materials. Inhaling these gases can also lead to severe injury internally as well as death. With pyroclastic flow, it can be at very high speeds, making it almost impossible to outrun or outdrive such eruptions. Case study that you can look at is please go to YouTube and Google for the video on the last day of Pompeii. It's a BBC video that you should be watching. Second effect that we're looking at is landslides. Landslides normally, in the case of a volcanic eruption, refers to when you have a cone collapse. So when the side of the cone with fractures that are internal, an eruption takes place, a lot of the rumbling causes some of these to collapse, and then you have a downward displacement of all the materials on the side of the volcano. This can cause large-scale damage to anything that's built along its path, and anybody or any of the settlements that are in its way will get wiped out completely. During volcanic eruptions, a lot of pollution is a resultant as well due to the ash particles and some of the gases that are being released. And this is not a localized phenomenon because when the eruption is large enough, some of these materials are ejected into the atmosphere and carried along as particles which will spread outwards. So some of these fine ash particles captured in the atmosphere are a danger to planes that are flying, and as a result of this and the risk of catastrophic engine failure, planes are grounded whenever there is a very massive eruption. About a few years ago, there was one in Europe where it grounded a lot of planes for almost a week, and the effect was felt not only within Europe itself. In Singapore, we felt the effect as well. Because being a tourist hub, there are many transit flights that go through Singapore, and those that are transiting to Europe because of the closure in Europe, and they couldn't fly off. Lastly, let's talk about effects on weather. Sulfur dioxide will react with water vapor within the atmosphere, and these can actually reflect the sun's energy back into space. Henceforth, it creates a temporal cooling of the surface temperatures on Earth. And when you have this fall in global temperature, you might affect the plant and animal life. A very extreme case of this was showcased in the show Day After Tomorrow, where there was a very sudden and massive repeat of this, and as a result, there was it triggered an ice age. Although it's not very possible for that to happen within that time frame in the real world, but it is a very useful exaggerated example. With this in mind, please refer back to your textbooks and the detailed notes within the SlideShare uploads for greater learning. This is just a short recap and for your advanced pre-learning purposes. Thank you.